So what I'm showing you is anybody can MIG weld. All it is just laying in the glue, or in this case, it's just metal. And I'm throwing it in this little hole right here. Kind of hard welding and looking back at the camera, but you know what? It works. And it's just this easy. And that's it. It's just that simple. The advantages that we have today, number one, is we have helmets that are adjustable. And if you're going to be out here MIG welding, like I'm doing today, you want to spend the money and get a decent helmet. Well, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. What I'm going to do this time is turn the helmet up. I got it at 9.5 for MIG welding, where I like it because I can't see. A standard helmet is 11, you know, or thereabouts, 10 or 11. So let's see what the difference is as far as the darkness of the lens, which is what we're looking for. I need a little bit faster. When it's spotting like that, you need a little bit faster. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up just a touch so I can get a nice even setup. But that looks pretty good, really. So what I'm doing this time, where we had it just now, we had it at 9.5. Okay, it's a little dark. It's fine. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up to 11. We're going to look at the difference to see how much better we can see. So I want to show you everything. And you want your lens set right to where you can see the glow and see where it's going, and have it be bright enough to where you can actually see what's going on when it's running. But you don't want it too bright that it's hurting your eyes, and that's the point. So yeah, it's just that easy. Anybody can weld. Okay? Anybody can MIG weld. Anybody can stick weld. It's just like taking a glue gun and putting glue on a piece of paper or cardboard or anything else. There's no difference except you're working with heat. So what I do, you want to have a hat. You don't necessarily have to have one, but I've got this. I just pull it up, you know, and then I put my helmet on. And well, I pulled it up today because I didn't have the helmet on. I had it sitting here in front of us so we could see what was going on with the camera. And I've got it set up really nice so I can have my glasses on because I want to be able to see totally clearly the spot that I'm welding. And with mine, it sits right on my head just right and says up. And with this helmet, I don't remember how much it costs. I got on eBay, and it's a Rhino helmet. And you can see it's got the Rhino on it here somewhere. There's the Rhino right there. And yeah, it's fully adjustable. It's got a little battery in it. You can adjust the lens when you're looking through it. You know, you're looking right through it pretty clear to where you can see me, and then it darkens up on its own automatically. And that's what you need, so you can go ahead and put your stick right on where you're welding and go ahead and start. So you can do it either way. You can either have your helmet up when you start, you can have it up and just shake it down to where it comes right down into place, like it does right here with me. It just falls right into place. And that's a good way of doing it, but I've got both. I've got the glass on here and everything, so it makes it nice, and it's nice when you can just see through it and get your job done. Guess I could have cleaned the lens a little bit. I didn't realize it was so dusty, but did it matter? No. Did it slow us down at all? No. Did we get on fire or anything? No. It's all good. Like I said, I don't use it too often, but it works every time I do. So we'll go to the other side and do the other side, and you can watch that too. And just to give you an idea that anybody can weld. All it is an electric glue gun. But you're using metal and you're putting two pieces of metal together. What I want is to have both pieces touching. Do they have to touch? No, not really. It's not that important. So I can fill it in. But, you know, this is just simple metal work, man. I mean, it's simple stuff, easy. Anybody can do it, and that's my whole point. Jumping around a little bit, I'm going to turn it back down a touch. And every time we got to start our weld, we start out with a fresh opening, a fresh tip on our wire. So you just snip it. You can snip it to whatever length you need to start out. If you're working in a tight spot, make it as long as you need to keep your hand out of the way before you're only using the wire. Let's go up to 12.5 and see how we look on that. Because it's still protecting our eyes just fine. And this little MIG sure makes it nice when you're working. Because you can do this. You can see what you're doing. Okay, we're going to do the other side. Wire brush always works real good. All I'm doing is just removing these little BBs that you see all over the place from the splatter, which is, you know, normal. And I've got all this stuff right here. It's going to come off on its own. It's not going to hurt a thing. So, okay, so you saw the differences in the settings on the helmet. 12, 12.5, 13, to me, that's just a little bit too bright, you know. 10.5, 11, that's pretty good. Most helmets when you buy them, I think they're 10s if I remember right. 9 was a little bit too dark. So, yeah, let's go 11.5. It's all pretty good. It's not going to hurt your eyes with a MIG welder, you know, unless you try doing it without anything on. And once again, here's our tip. You can see it's got the little burn on it from where I started. I don't need a whole lot, so I'm just going to cut it. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to cut it with my good hand because left hand is just not doing it. So I'm just going to take it and snip it straight off. And what you want to do is make sure that you don't touch the tip in here. So you want to have it long enough to where when you're doing it, the tip stays far enough away to where you don't get this little bit of chatter on here like what I've got when I first started doing it. That happened to me a couple times back in the day. Let's see, you can't see because the tip is right in the way. So I'll do it with my left hand. And we'll come in from the side. Left-handed, wow, I'm going to do it left-handed. And we should be able to see that just fine. Oh. If it does that and you don't get a spark or the line just moves out of the way, just snip it off and start it again. There, that's a good view. I'm just running in a circle. All I'm doing is filling in that little spot. That's it. Yeah, looks good. I ended up putting it back at 10.5. I went ahead and just adjusted it while I had it on my head, which is what I'll normally do to get where I can see the orange, where I can see the glow. So I'm going to cut this. We'll put a little bit more on there just for show. Not because it needs any more, it's fine the way it is. But because I can see it perfectly now at 10.5, it sure was hard. It sure was more difficult to see when I had this thing off my head. Yeah, like I said, obviously I'm no pro. See, I'm just filling it in. So all I'm doing is just using it like a glue gun and filling in the area. You're watching the bead, watching it flow, and just keeping it ahead of it. Yeah, we didn't need to do this one, but we did it for show, just because. You can see our little welder right there. We got our adjustments on here. You got two low settings. You have a low and a high, or both high, which is where I had it at first. That was a little bit too hot, which is why it was knocking a little piece out. So I went ahead and just flipped this up, took it down a little bit in the heat, cranked this down a little bit more, and it was starting to fill in. It worked perfectly. For those of you that are looking for a good welder, let's take some close-ups of this one so you can get the right one. I don't like going with the cheapest, but I do like going with Lincoln. And I mean, there's a number of good welders. I can't remember the name, but there's a blue one. We also have one of those that has stick and MIG and TIG, all three. But I don't have it out here right now. My buddy Jim has it, and that's the one we used right here in this video. And that's a good brand too, man. Now the only thing I want to do still that I have left is I'll go ahead and wire brush it. I'll throw some paint on it so it doesn't rust. And that's only going to take me a couple minutes. And anybody can paint too. Okay, so we got a Lincoln Weld Pack HD, heavy duty. So it's not the El Cheapo. It's just one up. And you got the instructions right here. It goes up to 1/8 inch steel. And we started out on high 2, which was high with both switches on. Up on 2. Okay, what I needed was a little bit less, the high 1, which was 1 on 2, 1 on 1. Because high is high and you have your 1 and 2 switch. So all we do is just lower it down just a touch, and that's all it took for just doing this slightly less than 1/8 inch, you know, steel on the snowplow. It even tells you how to do it, and it tells you everything you need to know right here. A lot of good welders. This one's just a wire feed, and a wire feed welder, basically this is all it is. This is your welding material. This wires right here, it comes on a roll, and it rolls out, and as you use it, the wire goes down. It comes out when it starts out. It's a totally full roll full of wire. I have extra ones, but they're wrapped up, and I don't want to, no need to show you a full roll when you got an empty roll right here to look at. Got some extra pieces in here, another welding tip if needed. There's some other stuff that comes with it. It comes with everything you need to know. Like I said, I paid under $200 for this on sale at Home Depot probably about 3 or 4 years ago. You can get them online, and you're going to find your best prices from what I can see, usually online. I just happened to walk in at the right time. It was about half price because they wanted $300 for it back then, brand new. And when I walked up to the cash register, I expected it to be on sale for $250. and they dropped it down to 175. So yeah, I'm totally happy with this. And I hope you guys, you know, I hope this helps you out, because welding is simple. Anybody can do it. Read the instructions. You can even get a book. I got books on how to weld, but I fortunately have enough friends that showed me how to do it back in the day and walked me through it, that you know, gave me the confidence that I needed. And hopefully this will give you the confidence you need too, because when it comes to welding, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. I mean, I can't even hardly see up close unless I have my glasses on. And you saw how well it worked. Good enough. Yeah, they're not mushroomed all over the place like some of the professionals I've worked with. Ralph. Jim. You know. Yeah, something stuck in my teeth there. Good friend of mine, a good old welder, good people. I worked with a lot of welders when I worked down there at Sierra Pine. A lot of really, really good welders, you know. We had some welders that were really good, and we had people in there saying they could weld that had never touched a stick before, like I hadn't before I started working in there. So, hey, you guys, you know, get a welder. Do your own metal work. It's simple.